Hello everybody, it is Saturday afternoon and we are in my kitchen, and that over there is where I usually film. Because today I'm going to bake a boatload of Christmas cookies, and last year, just on a whim, I filmed doing this and it was a lot of fun. It was very different from what I usually do. So I thought, why not? Let's do it again. I have time, no other commitments. We'll do this. Today I'm going to do more experimental stuff. I don't actually know that much about modifying cookie recipes, so we'll see if any of this works out very well. I'm going to make the Nora's Lemon cookies from the Isa Does It cookbook. This is a favorite that I make every Christmas. And from my standby baking book, Vegan Cookies Invade Your Cookie Jar, I'm going to modify the chai shortbread recipe. I'm going to try making a matcha almond shortbread. And there are recipes for vegan almond matcha shortbread stuff out there, but the base of the chai shortbread, I really like it. So I'm going to just cut out the chai spices and add my other stuff to it. We'll see if I can do that. And then I'm going to try a fancier cookie and do a pinwheel cookie. I found a recipe online that is also vegan, and my first attempt, it went very well, except that I learned some things about how to get the swirl inside. So I'm going to try it again, just better this time. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about while I'm doing this. I might just actually step you through the recipes, because why not? I kind of talked myself out in my last video, but who knows what I'll think to talk of. Okay, I'm going to start with the pinwheel cookies. I am working with this recipe, which is from the Miss Kitchen Witch recipe blog, the vegan chocolate pinwheel icebox cookies, except I'm not doing the chocolate. I am just dyeing half of it with red food coloring. I'm going to do what I did last time, which is I'm going to do half a cup of, what are these even called now? Earth Balance vegan buttery sticks. They used to be called shortening and they were a bit different, but now they actually look like Earth Balance's margarine. They definitely have a different consistency. And I'm going to use a 1/4 cup of actual, oops, original margarine. Well, it's called buttery spread. I bet somebody in the dairy industry didn't like that, so they had to change the name. That seems to happen a lot. And yes, I'm going to lick the beaters because there is nothing better than pure fat and sugar. I don't know, I've put so much food coloring in there. I'm worried about overworking it or something. It looks pink, but I've put in more than I did the last time, so I guess I'm just gonna go with it. The 2 balls of dough need to refrigerate for at least 30 minutes. So I'm just gonna put them in the fridge, and I'm probably gonna wait an hour. I'm just going to move on to making the next type of cookie, the matcha almond variation I'm inventing for this shortbread recipe. I'm thinking about making half the recipe since it is an experiment, and I'm going to toss my matcha powder in with the flour. I think I've got about a tablespoon in there. It's part of why I don't want to make a full batch. I don't think I have quite enough matcha powder. Add at least a couple drops of green food coloring to the creamed together liquid ingredients, just to cover all the bases to get a nice green color. I don't know, guys, I put 3 drops of green food coloring in there, and suddenly I'm second guessing myself, like this might have been a terrible idea. Oh well, and now I get to lick green butter and sugar. Well, it is definitely green. I don't know how appetizing it is. Well, I can say this. Just tasting it, I really like it. But looking at it, I'm not so sure about my life choices. I have this idea that I can put a sprinkle in the middle of it. Maybe fancy it up a little bit. And this is what it looks like going into the oven. I have no clue what I'm doing, but I'm having fun and that's what counts, right? Well, in retrospect, the little glittery sprinkle thing was not a great idea because they melted. Unlike the other types of sprinkles that I have, which have not. Well, the more you know. Now that the last batch of the matcha almond cookies are in the oven, I'm going to move on to the Nora's lemon cookies just to get all of the cookie doughs made, and I can start on the pinwheel cookies that are still chilling whenever these get done baking. So the first step is to zest the lemons. It is really stiffened up with that coconut oil solidifying again. I gotta bake a test because I can never remember what size I do it at. 1 tablespoon or 2 tablespoons. The recipe actually says 2 tablespoons for each ball that you're gonna flatten, but I would swear that I've made the smaller version in the past. So I'm going to do both and see how it looks. Interesting complication. I've never quite seen this before, but you can kind of see how bumpy and granulated they look. I'm not entirely sure what's causing that. My first thought was maybe the coconut oil didn't get incorporated as well or something. I think I might just have to go with it. A lot of it will be covered up with icing anyway, and I think I'm going to go with the smaller size. I like big cookies, but I'm going to have more of the little ones, and I like the look of that. While the lemon cookies are in the oven, I'm going to come back to our pinwheel cookies, which are very hard, but they will soften up quite quickly. I'm going to roll these out right now while my others are still baking. This stuff stuck to everything last time. I'm going to try to roll it out on cling wrap this time. See if that works. Here we go. Wish me luck. Oh, this is so much nicer than my first attempt though. It's, my first attempt, I had too much space in the middle of it, like it didn't roll up tightly enough. So this is nice. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it there. I don't feel like failing at any other experimental things today. So I'm gonna put this back on plastic wrap and put it in the fridge for probably about 30 minutes. And time for cookie problem diagnosis. This is my test. You can see that it's not nearly as spread out as the ones I did later, which the dough had softened up thanks I was working at it. This is better. This looks like it has too much oil in it, or it needed to be refrigerated for a while or something. I've honestly never had this happen with this cookie before, so I don't really know what's up with that. They are always quite oily. I'm gonna run with it. I actually am out of, licking my finger, sorry. I'm out of coconut oil, so I'm not gonna redo it. Next up, some glaze. I am not good at decorating things, and every year I just sort of end up dumping stuff on these. I use the remainder of my wax paper underneath it because this gets messy. It's nice to peel them off at the end and then just throw all the messy stuff away afterwards. Well, the base cookies might be ugly as sin, but I've never done the drizzle on top. so well before. I'll take my wins where I can get them. They look kind of crazy now, but I'll break them apart and a lot of the icing will fall off around the edges. Saved, you know? Could have been worse. All right, chilled, much firmer feeling. Let's find out how strange they are inside. Well, I gotta say, that is so much better than my first attempt. It isn't as tight in the middle, but it did close up a bit in the oven, so I'm happy. I'm very happy. So, lemon cookies, the kind of funky matcha almond, but completely edible, and these brightly colored pinwheel cookies. I'm very proud of myself. So that is it. 3 cookies in 3.5 hours is not bad at all. And I'm not done in the kitchen. I gotta make dinner now. So hope you guys enjoyed this. It was very different from last year's video. And let me know what cookies you are baking, and have a lovely Christmas.